All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're playing some more Stormworks Build and Rescue. We restarted our classic career game, and we're on the industrial island starting now. So I think, oh yeah, there's a mission here. The blue speedboat. So what I researched is I'm researching currently land vehicles, and I researched logic, just the basic logic. I have a bare bone truck with a small engine in it, this thing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and spawn it in. We're going to need fluid management. That's 4. And then advanced fluid management is 20. So I already need a minimum of 20 more points, research points. I probably don't need that on. It's midday. Yeah, I think that's it. But I'll spawn the vehicle in when I'm done this mission and just have a check, just to see. So we're basically gonna come up to there and then come back around. All right. I don't need much. So, but like I said, we're going to need fluid management anyhow for the oil rig, and we're going to need it, yeah, especially for the oil rig. That gives us the large fuel tank, and that gives us the large pump, the faster pump. And the oil rig is going to be real basic. Just it's going to pump into an oil tank, which is going to have probably 4 refineries on it, and we'll just refine diesel and jet fuel. It's going to be real simple. My hope is like they fixed the selling bug. I had never checked, but my hope is they fixed it. I'm going to try it at least. Otherwise, if we have to grind missions to get money, it's going to be a little while. I mean, we're at 30,000 so far. Oh, that boat is still out there. I should try and repair it. If I ever get advanced equipment and I can get an underwater repair. Oh, the hospital boat's out there. Yeah, that's the hospital boat. What am I looking for anyways? A blue speedboat has gone missing. Oh, is that it there? Boy, that would be lucky. No, that's a picnic boat. All right, must be over here. Let's see. We will go to here. What's this? Cargo? A lost anchor. Yeah, and then the basic truck. I don't know. The other trucks that I have all use the medium engine, and this truck uses the small engine. So my hope is that I can use it to haul very basic amounts of fuel like my first truck. It's just the first truck, I have custom doors on it, and I have a bunch of custom stuff that it's not very bare bones. So I need just a base vehicle, which is going to help me haul fuel. So when you're starting out, there's those few things you really need. You need fuel, you need a boat, and you need a truck. You need a truck to haul fuel, and maybe you need another land vehicle to transport passengers to and from the hospitals and stuff. So those three things, right? A boat and 2 land vehicles are a must. However you want to make them look like is however you want to make them look like. Just those are a must. Now, what I did for my land vehicles is I built them in the train station, as you'll see in the videos. And I did that because it's not as wide. And I thought, okay, if one day I want to make a modular system where, I drive my truck onto a rail car and I'm able to transport it, I don't want it to be too wide. Oh, I can hear the music. I must be close to the speedboat. So that's the only reason why I did that. And the height was limited and the width was limited. So for me, in making a vehicle, it seemed to be the best way to go about it. And I always think about spawning the vehicle into the world. If it's damaged to the point where I can't repair it, but I can still drive it and I want to get it somewhere, Maybe I have a base that only has a railway spawner in it. All right, and then so that would basically mean that if I'm in a base that only has a railway spawner in it, then I'm limited to the size of vehicle that I can use there, right? So. For a blue speedboat. Which I don't see. Must be back over where my marker is. No, it doesn't go around that point. Okay, so we can loop around here. Oh, there it is, right in front of us. Excellent, I see it now. All right, I'll try not to flood it and sink it by accident on this one. Oh, it looks like there's somebody in the water. Extinguish the fire and rescue 2 casualties to the hospital. Okay, probably gonna have to... Let's see. Whoa, what happened to this boat? Some damage to this boat. All right, let's see here. Oh, the fire extinguisher does damage or pushes you away. That's kind of funny. Like it does that in space. All right, let's see if I can get on here without burning. Not really. So before you got 3,000 for putting out the fire. Let's see if they increased that mission reward. Come on, fire. You can go out. You can go out, fire. Okay, so they didn't increase that reward. All right. Oh. All right, don't worry, sir. I'm a professional. Your body is just capsizing the boat. All right. Or his body. His buddy. Sorry, oh, they're both dudes. All right. All right. All right. Let's get you dudes. Excuse me. To the rescue here. Now, can I scooch through? Oh no, there's that. I gotta go around. I'll get stopped on the bridge. Yeah, I really like this boat. This is like the ultimate kind of little rescue boat. Like I said, it just could use a few more first aid kits or whatever. I just got to carry more first aid kits. As we all know, when you start rescuing large groups of people, they like to hide in like 2 or 3 of them that are just can't stop bleeding. So the other thing too, when I'm doing these missions, a lot of times I don't save. If I have to go a long ways, I might make a couple of saves. But if I fail the mission, I'll just load the autosave and try again. That's the best thing, because you never know what's going to happen to the game. Is it going to glitch or whatever? So there's really isn't much point in saving like mid-mission. Just before the mission and after the mission are the best times to save. Right? A rogue wave could come in and knock you over. You never know. So after the mission, once you've got all the people on the boat and the objective is complete, basically, that's always a good time to save. And then before you do the mission, either before you depart or just before you know, like if you're a couple kilometers away from the mission's ship, it's a good time to save just before the ship spawns in. Because you'll notice sometimes if you're doing these long missions, which have lots of people on them and there's lots of things you need to do, when the missions load, the people have random timers on them. They'll have a random incapacitated timer. So when they pass out, some will have 9 minutes that you can rescue them. Some will have 3 minutes that you can rescue them. Some will have less than a minute that you could rescue them and they'll die. So if you're doing these really big missions like the LNG and stuff where there's like 13 passengers, it's good to save it before the ship spawns. And that way, if you don't complete the mission because too many people are dying, you can always reload the mission a few times until those timers are increased, and they'll increase. And then that way you can run the mission, rescue the people, explore the ship, and have fun. That's what I've noticed anyhow so far with the missions and stuff. That's what I'll do sometimes. You know, if there's a rogue wave that comes in and knocks everything out, sometimes if you reload the game, that wave doesn't cross through. Oh, I'm getting low on fuel. I didn't realize. Very limited capacity for fuel, this boat. Can't go very far at all. 5 or 6 kilometers, like 3 kilometers each way tops. Turn that down a little bit, but Just tiny. I haven't reimagined this one yet. I probably could redesign it a little bit now that the majority of the changes seem to be complete. I really hope they add like fishing, like, you know, like a mission where you just go to a zone and you just troll around in the zone for a little while, and then you get a reward or something, right? Or whatever. You have a net, a special winch, which is a net winch, and then it just has like a hook on it, and then you just let the hook out, and it has this big imaginary net on it, right? Like they do the parachute, they could deploy something similar. That'd be pretty cool. We'll see. We don't know what's coming in 24. Maybe that's what's coming in 24. All right. Back to base already. Very low on fuel. The other important thing is to not go too big too fast. You may seem like, oh, look, I've got lots of money and I've got lots of fuel and everything's going good. And then you'll launch your big, frigate, rescue frigate. It's got 4 big beastly engines, or 6 beastly engines in it. And all of a sudden you need 70,000 liters of fuel every time you take it out. So yeah, stuff like that. If you go too big too fast, you've run out of money. So I'm going to try and show in this. Oh, he almost jumped in the water. Hey, buddy, we don't do that. We don't do that around here. I'm hoping that the strategy I use this time around is going to be a lot better. This was the strategy I was hoping to use in the core game. Because I started when they added oil. I think I started that big expansion there. I started just before they added it, and then there was all this kind of stuff, fun stuff. But it just didn't. To my surprise, not really surprised, but I say that to my surprise, it didn't really have the grit that I was hoping it would. Like I knew there was going to be issues, trying to mine oil from the surface, but it just, exceptionally difficult in career mode, where you have vehicle damage, which means you can only mine when there's no waves, and as soon as there's a rogue wave, you have to disconnect your operation. You have to shut down the operation. I guess it'd be like a storm, right? You have to shut down the operation during the storms, and then maybe you have to disconnect a few lengths. It's just the timing of that whole process. You factor in all of that. We'll see. Maybe I'll have to redesign a ship. But we're going to go through all that on this one. We're going to have the capacity to do it now. Yeah, so that's what I was finding challenging, is that once you get into those larger builds, they take $250,000 to $500,000 just to launch the ship. Sometimes more. Oh, there's other people in here. It's full. What's going on? Oh, I can't put him in there. All right. Well, that's kind of odd that the hospital's full. Well, enjoy yourselves, fellas. Sorry about your luck. The hospital's full. I've already got 45,000. That's pretty good. All right, so we'll make it back to base. What do I got for 4 research points? I don't think I could research anything. I want to see what I need for that truck. Other than fluid management. So maybe I have to leave them outside. And then anytime a rogue wave comes by, it'll just clear out the hospital. I wonder if that's why the other hospital is having those issues. Well, maybe I'll make another report about it. See if they get to it. Because the hospital in the last base that I used, the core starting base, the patients will despawn when the mission is over. Maybe the mission's not over. Maybe that's why. Because their boat is still out there. All right. So if I wanted to load this here, this is the truck. I'm just missing the fluid tanks. And then I'll be able to launch this. Okay, this was the base design, except 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's not wide enough. It's only 10 wide. So it actually needs to be wider by 1. Sadly. So we need advanced fluid management. So we need 20 more research points. And then we'll be able to launch. I'm thinking about ships. And then we'll be able to take this truck out. Right? I want to do fuel. But I can't do fuel if I don't have a way of transporting that fuel. So you need to have a truck to transport that fuel. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. I can't sail my ship on the land. I mean, I could put wheels on it, and it'd be pretty awful. And I could just drive, I suppose, to the every time I need fuel. No, we don't want to do that. All right. 11 is the width that you want for your vehicles. A container is 11 wide. That's why I say 11 for the vehicles. That way, if you're making a container truck and you want that container truck to be as wide as the container, so I mean, I probably at this point, probably what I'll do is I'll create a car. Not a car. I have the bus. Sorry, I have the bus. I do. I have the little handy bus. I have the blue handy bus. I might be able to spawn that in, actually. I'm gonna try right now to spawn in the handy bus. Now, obviously, this one's not going to be like super, flash. It's not super secure. All right, let's see. 2 by, where are we? 2 by 3. 2 by 3. 2 by 3. And 1 by 2. There we go. Cool. And then what is that? 2 by 3. 2 by 3. And this just has large fuel tanks on it. I think, where's the fuel tanks? Oh, the fuel tanks are right there. Okay. So I'll have to save it. I'll have to save it as is. And then put the fuel tanks on because I widened it without the fuel tanks off. Alright, well that gives me an opportunity to paint in here. Eventually we'll put lights and stuff on it. But again, I'm trying not to get too involved because we want this to be like, this is just our light duty, just a light duty truck. We don't want it to have too many bells and whistles. Because if it has too many bells and whistles, it's going to be too expensive. It's going to be too expensive. And it's gonna just be too we're not gonna be able to use it this early in the game, right? So basically once we get, I'll put the large fuel tanks on it, and then we'll put a fuel tank on the back, like a whatever, just a basic thing, right? And then I can haul like 10,000 liters at a time. That's gonna give us the ability to get fuel for our rescue ship. And so I'm just going to save this as or just a regular semi, right? The ultimate goal at this point in time is to spawn this. Oh, it's not large enough. Okay. We'll have to see. I'll have to see what it is. And then this, eventually we'll have to, but I mean, look what I need. Paintable signs, the door panel frames, all this kind, and 18 others, right? There's a lot of, there's a lot of stuff that I'll, doors and stuff that I'll need before I'll be able to spawn these in, right? The big ones. So for the next little bit, we are going to be using the regular semi. It's got 2 small engines on it. You'll see. We'll have to tune it a little bit, which I'll go over probably when it's ready. And it looks like we just need to run some more missions. So this is saved. Let's exit here. Let's see how much fuel we got. Diesel. We got 3,400 liters of diesel. So let's run another mission here. Boat requires servicing. Oh, there's 2 of them. Look at all the hospital boats. There's 3 hospital boats in that little area. Oh my goodness. Oh, hopefully they just crash into each other. Rescue 4 casualties to a hospital. So we made it to there, and we were pretty much critical on our fuel, huh? Extreme weather, seismic activity. Okay. So I wonder if we can get them. Well, all we can do is try. And try we shall. And shall we try? be able to do it in that. I could put the medium tanks on it. It's just not worth it. It's got to have the large fuel tanks. Yeah, see, and this is missing. I can't use our handy bus yet. I'm missing too much stuff before I can launch the handy bus. So who knows? I might end up converting. Yeah, that thing was just. I've got this camera, robotic pit. No, that's not ready to go. So at this point in time, the best thing I can do is take that semi truck and convert it, put some seats on it in the back. We'll convert it into a bus, maybe, just a go-to bus. All right. So having said all of that, let's head out and try and rescue these people. It always starts out as a lovely day at sea. It's like about 85. So what I'll do is I'll dial that in on the way back. Once we have fuel, emissions won't matter. We've got all the ships. My little rescue ship that I built, if you go back through the older videos there, you'll see the rescue boat that I have. The blue and orange one. That ship will sail forever. It's got a huge range on it, like 50, 60 kilometers. It's got a huge range. I just don't know when it's got all the bells and whistles on it, so I don't know when we'll be able to launch it. But this one's not bad. Like, this mission here, we'll cut it close. You know, we can use it for now, just so long as missions are spawning close. But as you'll see, they get further and further and further away. And then they never spawn close to you again. They spawn 20 kilometers away. I don't know why the algorithms are like that, but that's the way it is. Maybe this will change that. In my experience, I very rarely had missions spawn close to me, except for in the early days of the game, and then after that they spawn way out there. Well, if the fuel is free for now, we can always drive across the continent to a dockyard and launch at another dockyard. I mean, I'm already at, with the boat spawn, I've almost got 40,000, which is not bad. So I'm going to try and make the first rig build, as cheap as possible, 100,000 or less, if I can stay within that frame. What will determine the cost of that will be the batteries and the tanks. The tanks are pretty expensive. Well, maybe just the equipment. I don't know. We'll see. And then after the mission, I'll have to look to see what it costs to buy the property. I don't think it'll say until I'm there. Or you don't have to buy the property, you just have to purchase the rig to drill. Maybe that's how that works, I don't know. We will soon find out. Right. And so once you have your fuel supply chain established, then you can say, okay, I want a bigger boat. Then we could take this boat, widen it, put another engine in it, make it a bit faster, so it sucks back more fuel because we have the capacity to feed that engine, right? But right now we're limited. We only have that starting amount of fuel of 4,000. And then after that, the only way to get it is to travel to another dock and fuel up, which to me is, you know, it wouldn't work with this setup. I'd have to add fuel tanks to this boat and kind of use it like a tanker, which is just, it's just not going to work, right? So the goal is to be up and running with the initial 4,000 liters of fuel that we started with, right? So the only way to do that is you need a cheap boat that's cheap on fuel. It's got a small engine in it like this one does. I think it has 3 gas tanks in it. I'll go over it here after this, and then you'll see it's just a single engine. And grind those missions up till you can spawn the oil rig and get a base truck, right? Base truck. So fluid management research, oil research. What's the other one I had to research there? Logic. So you can have the inverter, whatever, for the steering. And we'll need logic to set up the oil rig. Oh, is this, no, it's the hospital boat, right? I'm like, is that the boat there? No, it's a hospital boat. Yeah, now we need 20 research points so we can get fluid management. I can start researching this one here. We need advanced fluid management for the large fuel tanks and for the large fuel pumps, which we'll need. So I don't have any doors or anything. So I might actually just wait till I get doors, just so I can have a secure area. Because we don't want to, we only want to spawn the rig once if we can avoid it, twice at the very most. The first rig, we want to be bare bone. That's what gets us up and running, right? And then after that, we can design and build, you know, a real futuristic looking kind of oil rig, which has lots of stuff on it. Oh, the music stopped. Oh, okay. That's weird. There's the boat there. Yeah, so we need to have enough money to spawn the rig, and then we still need to have enough money to spawn the boat and the truck for what we need. So maybe 150,000 is going to be our goal. Let's say we'll set that as our financial goal, 150,000. And that way we should have enough money to supply our fuel needs. Oh, there's 4 people here? Awesome. Let's see if there's any like repair the damage on the boat before I just take off. Cool. Well, that's 4. Oh, here, I'll heal you up here. That's 4. So that means we just need 16 after this. That's pretty good. So far, so good. Oh, here, let me sit in my chair to make this a little balance. What's it say here? Just rescue the casualties to a hospital. All right. Cool. We got plenty of fuel to make it back. Awesome. It doesn't take long to get the research points, I suppose. It doesn't really take long to do the missions. It's the building and the testing and designing the vehicles that you want to use to complete the missions. It takes all the time. So now that I have all that, I maybe don't have the rigs, but I pretty much have a base set of vehicles that we can use for every stage of the game. So this should go pretty quick, hopefully. All right, so that's 6. 6 we were able to rescue. Nice. So hopefully I do 4 or 5 more rescues, and that'll be enough to, that should be enough to, should be enough to get us enough research points to unlock advanced fuel, and then I'll be able to build the fuel truck, and we'll go out and check out the oil rig and see what kind of cost structure we're going to need for that. But you figure at what, 3,000 per person, and we're getting 1 research point per person that we rescue. If I need 16 research points, what is that? 30 and 18. That'll be another 48,000. So 70. Yeah, I'll be at about 86,000, something like that. 90,000, somewhere around there. So not bad, not bad. We'll be within our close range. But like I say, I don't know if we have to buy the rig or buy the property and then plant the rig. So I'll have to check that out as well and see how that works. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and then the plan will be to bring diesel here so we can continue to run missions until I have enough money and research to spawn the plane. And then we'll take the jet fuel. We'll see. Hopefully we have enough storage capacity for that. Or I'll have to store jet fuel here just to make room. But once we can spawn the plane, then we'll be trucking it to the airport and flying it out. I checked the train, and I just don't think we have the... Where am I going here? Oh, I got to go around. I checked the train, and we just don't have the length. I can use the train here at the first oil rig, but it doesn't reach the airport on the other side. It's too far. The massive winch only goes 600 meters, and the airport's like 1.6 kilometers, so I'd have to go too far, I think. So we'll end up trucking it to the airport, I think, sadly. It's the loading time, right? What you're trying to do is avoid the loading time with the fuel. So if I can load at the rig and truck it to the base where we're at now, I can then just spawn trucks full of fuel and send them to the airport. The problem with that is I need 100,000 liters, 140,000 liters at the airport per trip. So, ooh, I hope I have enough fuel here. Oh my goodness. So, what is that? My big truck does 40,000. I don't even know if I can spawn it in. I don't think I can. I think I can only spawn the small one in. Then we could try and do 40,000. Would have to be triple axle. Nah, it doesn't work. 20,000 at a time is your... I think the shipping container does 40, but we'll design a shipping container. See what that holds. We'll design a shipping container trailer. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. Something. We'll design something. Probably we'll take a shipping container, fill that with fuel. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So the plan would be to spawn the truck in and then spawn the trailer in separately. And then I would drive the truck and the trailer over to the rig, and I'll have a spot where I can park the trailer and it'll fuel up. Maybe we'll have to see how I can design that, a loading area. Maybe I can have 2 trailers there at a time. And that way I can despawn the truck and still have the rig and the 2 trailers filling up. One with diesel, one with jet fuel. And then whenever they're full, I can always just shunt them back and forth to the base. And then once I have enough liters to make jet fuel run, I'll shunt them to the airport. Yeah, that's what I'll do. And then in the meantime, I can run missions and do whatever. That's good. And then eventually we're going to need a larger port. So that's future, obviously. But after that, we'll start looking at a large port where we can export different things, I guess, whatever. So the fuel, the safe way with the fuel is we'll then fly it to the military base and we'll store it at the military base. And from there, we can just take a truck with a hose and we can safely sell it on the dock. And that way I don't have to spend all these hours unloading. It takes long enough to load, but unloading takes just as long, if not longer. So I can just have a truck or a container sitting on the dock loading and unloading fuel, right? It's perfect. Go AFK or whatever. Whew, this one's cutting it tight. See, now, they changed the way that these would empty. Before, it would empty one, then the next, then the next, then the next. But here, it drains the entire system equally. So what I was saying, it doesn't really matter with fuel because you get full power with the fuel, whether you have 1 unit of fuel or 20 units of fuel. But when it comes to gas in the tanks, when the gas gets low in the tanks, the pressure in the tanks becomes low as well. And then you lose that thrust. You lose a considerable amount of thrust. So that's why when I designed my spaceship, I had it set up in those chambers. But for some reason, the threshold gate stopped working on the spaceship, the last one I built. So I had to increase my fuel capacity. But that's my only concern, is that when the fuel tanks get low, they lose all that pressure. So when you're leaving the moon, going back to Earth, you're not getting as much thrust. And when you're in deep space, you're not getting enough low, steady thrust. I know, it probably doesn't make much sense because by the time you make it to the moon, you still have a third of a tank left, and you probably still have plenty of thrust to get off of the moon. But, I mean, you know, reasons. Reasons, people, come on. It can't just be perfect. I mean, there's got to be a complaint somewhere, right? Come on now. I hope it doesn't capsize. Oh, you know that the 3,000 is probably for the bleed out. Everybody's complaining that it's 2,000, and then I complain too. Hey, they bleed out just a little bit, and it seems like suddenly you're losing thousands of dollars for like. It feels like you're losing thousands of dollars for a little bit of their bleeding. All right. Yeah, once we're able to get that truck working, I'll make one that just has seats on it, and it'll be real ugly, and we'll just use it for now until I can get the bus going. Or maybe I'll just build an ugly bus with nothing on it, no technology on it. Open windows. That's right, this is our rescue service. Get used to it. Are we moving? I think we're moving. You get caught up in these. It seems like you're running forever and nothing's happening. Then all of a sudden you'll just run over a lip and you'll go flying, it feels like. If you ever seen the Monty Python and the Holy Grail, there's that scene there where the guard is at the castle, and then he sees the soldier running towards the castle, and he's running, but he's getting nowhere, and then the scene resets like 5 times, and he's always in the same position. Ah, yes. Monty who? Huh? The young generation? Monty who? He's got a python? Well, I don't know if he has a python. He might. I don't know. Okay, that is annoying. I can heal you. Come on. I'm just trying to heal the character that's... Yes, there we go. Ah, yes. Okay. We'll see if those other two despawn. Oh, is he... Oh, there's an astronaut here. Oh yeah, the other two disappeared. Okay. So that their boat, I'm gonna have to go and rescue that boat. Somehow. I don't know how, but I'm gonna have to go and rescue the boat. Alright, why? Just see the problems. You see the problems I'm having with you. Alright, is that all of yous? Alright. There's an astronaut here. Is that a mission? He needs evacuation to a safe zone in anticipation of a natural disaster. The astronaut. Oh, sorry, buddy. You got your spacesuit on. You'll be okay. Speaking of spacesuits, I don't have a spacesuit. Yeah, I got $50,000 and 4 RP for that. Cool. Well, that'll do it for this video. We'll get back to base here, and then we'll end the video there. And I'll have to figure out how to fix that boat. What does it want me to do? critical damage to the vehicle. I might have to wait till I get underwater welding or something. Because I thought it was a rudder. Who knows? All right. So we have a plan. We are now working towards that goal. We'll do some more investigating in the next video, do some more cost scaling, and yeah, we'll just sort of see what we have to do to kick this game into the next gear. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. You guys are awesome. Have a fantastic day, and we will see you in the next one.